One of the things I get asked a lot as a Dokkan Battle streamer is, should I pull on this banner? What's it worth it for me to pull on this banner? Hopefully we can answer a couple of those questions for you today. Completely out of nowhere, the Dokkan Battle dropped the Warriors of Universe 6 banner, which makes no sense because shouldn't it be Warriors of Universe 6? It's not just the one, it's two of them. Long story short, this banner is, I would definitely say it's definitely a trap banner. But it does teach an important lesson, I think, and that is to not spend your stones immediately on every banner that shows up, because you never know when these kind of off-the-wall banners with the occasional good card might roll around and you might want to take a shot at it. One thing definitely to note is that this is a GSSR banner. One featured SSR guaranteed per multi-summon. So that means no matter what, you're going to get one of these cards. Kale, Caulifla, Hit, Piccolo, Strength Beerus, the Tech Whis, and Intelligence Whis. I think they should have added, I think they should have definitely created more cards to put in here. But, you know, what can you say? It is what it is. So let's go ahead and jump right into the meat of the banner here and get straight to our first SSR. So the first one we have here is Kale Berserker, as if we're ever going to get a Kale card that is not this. I highly doubt it, and if we do, it's not going to be anytime soon. The first thing you'll notice when you look at this card is that she is basically physical brawling light. She has physical key +2, HP attack and defense +70%. I mean, if you don't have Brawly and you really want a physical leader that's going to pull her weight, this Kale card is definitely going to be a nice benefit. She has she has immense damage on her super attack, which is pretty crazy actually. It's very abnormal for non-Dokkan Fest cards to get immense damage. So the fact that she has immense damage is definitely crazy. For some reason, they gave her a debuff of defense -30 for 30% for one turn. So having her tank is probably not the best idea, but with a little strategy, maybe a little support item usage, you can cover up for that. You can cover up for that weakness. Her passive skill gives her attack plus 100%, which means that she's going to do quite a bit of damage. She also launches an additional attack, which has a high chance to become a super attack. So the similarities with the physical Brawly continue. The physical Brawly gets a guaranteed extra super attack, but this one doesn't. But high chance is still, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that's pretty much a coin flip. So that's not really that bad. She's definitely going to, I mean, if you were to invest Elder Kai's into Kale, you will probably do maybe about around the same damage, if not a little bit more, than 12 key physical Brawly with his super attack maxed out. If only just for the fact that she basically doubles her attack. She has a chance to launch this additional attack. It's still not really worth using Elder Kai's on him, on her, simply because there's better units to spend Elder Kai's on, and that's really all there is to it. Having a quick look at her links here: Saiyan Warrior Race, Berserker, Warriors of Universe 6, Battlefield Diva, Saiyan Lineage, and Prepared for Battle. Most of these are not that useful. With the Berserker link and the normal Saiyan links, I don't know why she doesn't have Super Saiyan links. It's really strange, but it's whatever. If you ever decide to make a Brawly team just for the fun of it, she shares a lot of these links, except for obviously Warriors of Universe 6 and Battlefield Diva, with Broly cards. Thankfully, they gave her prepared for battle, so she has at least some kind of key. At least she can generate some kind of key with a lot of cards. You'll notice her stats are lower than physical Brawlies, but the fact that she gets extra 100% attack when she, basically, the passive activates no matter what, so she's gonna get that extra attack no matter what. So having the lower attack doesn't really hurt her so much. Her defense is passable. Her HP is pretty high, but that's pretty normal for physical cards to have high HP. So all in all, this card is not too bad, not amazing, but not too bad either. This is definitely not the jackpot card of this banner. You will not be pulling on this banner to try to get this card. The jackpot card for this banner is actually Caulifla, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. It's so strange that they skip Super Saiyan and go straight to Super Saiyan 2, but I mean, you think that having Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla would have been a good card to have later, but I mean, it is what it is. They're delving a little bit, I guess, into Tournament of Power, especially with Kale and Caulifla. At least Arc, not the actual tournament, but it is what it is. If you happen to pull both of these cards, they fit really, really well. She fits really, really well with Kale and like a Rainbow team. So, because you can see in our links here, she's got Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan. She gets Super Saiyan, of course. Kale doesn't. I don't know why. Battlefield Diva Warriors of Universe 6. She links almost perfectly with Kale, so putting those two together is definitely not a bad idea. If you happen to pull both of them, odds are you're probably not going to even pull on this banner, but this is just to inform you as to what to expect if you are going to pull on the banner, and to let you know that there's some good stuff on this banner. All types key +2, HP attack and defense plus 50%. That kind of makes her a that actually makes her a fairly flexible leader, and it makes this card very newbie friendly, because finding a rainbow leader with HP and attack and defense increase with an all type key increase is kind of difficult. So Caulifla is an extremely newbie friendly card, and anybody new to the game pulling on this banner who happens to get Caulifla is going to be in a good position, simply because that she's basically Vegito Blue without the Dokkan and without that +3 key. So it is what it is. She's a pretty solid card, and kind of the opposite of Kale in this sense, in the super attack. Supreme damage, that's pretty normal for cards these days, is supreme damage. Defense plus 30% for one turn. Instead of losing defense, she gains defense. So she kind of, I guess it's there to make up for the fact that she has attack plus 70% instead of 100%. High chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attacks, or medium chance of evading enemy super attack and countering with enormous power. So this makes this, including her extra defense on her super attack, makes her tanky. So she is an amazing fit on any mono agility team. So if you're wondering what the jackpot card is, if you hadn't guessed, it's this card. Absolutely this card. The defense plus 30% makes her tanky. She's already got really high defense. Her attack leaves a little bit to be desired, but her passive kind of makes up for it a little bit. And her HP is surprisingly high for a non-Dokkan agility card. So as we've discussed already, she's got really good link skills. She gets her attack boost has no requisites, and she can evade enemy attacks. Like, that's her whole gimmick. She evades attacks, and sometimes if she gets supered, she'll evade it and then counter. Not really something that you're going to see a lot of for a while. You only really see that on characters like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So it makes this card extraordinarily well, and extraordinarily good, and it makes it definitely makes this a good card. This is definitely the jackpot card of this banner, like no question about it. One thing you'll notice about Kale and Caulifla is that they don't Dokkan, which is a little strange. Their cost is kind of small. It's kind of weird. I'm guessing they didn't decide to Dokkan these cards because they're gonna Dokkan them in the future. So hopefully that's the case, and we get that sometime in the future. I'm gonna imagine probably once we start hitting the Tournament of Power arc, and they start putting in Tournament of Power arc cards into the game. That'll probably be a little while still because Tournament of Power is still going. But as you can see, they're definitely not afraid to delve into Tournament of Power arc a little bit early. I'll just dabble into it a little bit. Okay. Next up is Hit. Intelligence Hit is notoriously known as one of the most lackluster cards in the game. His biggest advantage as a card in an intelligence team is that he has 2 chances to stun. You're not going to be using him for his leader skill, obviously. But he does supreme damage, rare chance to stun the enemy. That's not bad. That's like, what, 25, 30% or so. But he also has a high chance of stunning the attacked enemy. So you have like a 50% chance with the passive or so. And then like 25, 35% chance with his super attack. So him not stunning people is pretty rare. So he's definitely one of the better stunners in the game. Unfortunately, his links leave a lot to be desired. Warriors of Universe 6, Infighter, Cold Judgment, Experienced Fighters, Supreme Warrior. These are cards that you don't really see that often. These are links that you don't really see that often. Couple that with good defense, lackluster attack, and good HP for an intelligence card. And it'll leave you sitting there thinking, why should I use this card when I can use Turles, the Intelligence Turles, in a mono intelligence team, or even Turles, Intelligence Turles in a in like a rainbow team. I believe this is an extreme type card. Yeah, it is. It actually is. Yes. So why would you use this card when you can use Intelligence Turles? It's like, well, you know, this is the only card I have. I need a stunner on my mono intelligence team or my mono extreme team. In that case, yeah, you might use this card, but otherwise he's not that great. But with this new banner, he Dokkan awakens and he becomes much better. Again, you still won't be using his leader skill, but it's definitely something to consider if you ever run into like an event that you're having difficulty with. But I still think that having key and HP attack and defense is much better than any kind of gimmicky leader skill. So again, supreme damage, rare chance to stun the enemy. Nothing's really changed here. High chance of stunning the attacked enemy with the passive skill, and he disables enemy's guard, and he gets attack plus 80%. These are all things that Hit desperately needed, and so that doesn't make Hit the jackpot card of this banner, but it does make him a good mid-game to end-game card, because actually Dokkaning him is not that difficult. It's just a little bit of grinding in the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 event that's out right now. Unfortunately, his links are just not that great. He gets basically the same links he had before, but they gave him shocking speed, which is fitting, but I mean, good luck fitting this guy into a shocking speed team over like any other cards, any of the other top tier cards. His HP attack and defense are definitely above average. That makes him really good. So this Dokkan basically made this card infinitely better than it was before. It gives him extra attack. It still gives him his stun potential, and it disables enemy guard. So if I'm not mistaken, that basically kind of makes him like Strength Gogeta, and that he's gonna hit super effective regardless of who he hits. Super good. Super good card, especially when he Dokkans. When he's not Dokkan, he's pretty meh. So If you happen to have pulled this card already in the past, having a couple dupes in him is probably not a bad idea, especially if you're planning on using this card in like Mono Extreme or something. But yeah, you would definitely probably replace like Intelligence Janemba or something in a Mono Extreme team with this card for sure, because he's just that good. Like, why tank when you can stun, right? Alright, so moving on to another of the most lackluster cards in the game, and that's Sage from Universe 7 Piccolo. Anybody who knows me knows that I do not hold any of the Piccolo cards in high regard, simply because Bandai Namco gives me no reason to like these cards, and they give me no reason to use these cards. Having said that, if you happen to pull this card, you might as well cry, because this card is awful. And spoiler alert, he does not improve when he Dokkans, which, by the way, he Dokkans in this one. He Dokkans now with this banner. Supreme damage, par for the course. Intelligence type HP and defense plus 60%. Not something you're going to be using as leader skill, so, you know, might as well throw that out. He gets attack plus 60% when HP is 80% or below. In a lot of cases, and especially in intelligence, especially in most optimal intelligence, like mono intelligence teams, your HP is not going to be under 80%. And if it is, then you're probably not doing very well, because a lot of the optimal mono intelligence cards give some sort of HP back. More specifically, I'm referring to like Intelligence Buhan. He'll give you quite a bit of HP back, so as long as you're playing smart, your HP is not really going to be under 80%. So automatically this card loses a lot of its attractiveness as a potential intelligence card. His link skills are also really bad. Like, this isn't even really that old of a card. This card and Hit are really not that old of a card, but yet they still have awful link skills. It just doesn't make sense to me. You will never see any of these link skills ever used in almost ever. That's just how bad it is. Oh, but it gets worse. When he Dokkans into Wise Warrior Piccolo, he becomes more useful as a leader, but you're still probably not going to use him anyway, because you probably already have an intelligence type leader who will give you at least attack boosts. He gets an extra attack boost with his super attack. Supreme damage, again, par for the course. Should have just given him immense damage. At least it would have made him a more attractive card. He gets an attack and defense boost when HP is 80% or below, which is dumb. They should have, like, I mean, if they were going to have like a requisite to it, like an HP requisite, they should have made it like 99% at least. Because I mean, it's not abnormal to at least take a little bit of damage in a fight. His links basically stay the same. He gets no real links to note here. Shattering the Limit, the First Awaken. The First Awaken is a really strange link for this card, but I mean, it is what it is. And his defense is really high, which at least helps when his passive does activate. His attack is passable now. It definitely could be higher, but it's definitely passable now. And his HP is high. It's another really high HP card for intelligence, and that's pretty abnormal. So yeah, needless to say, even with his Dokkan, he's just not that great. So if you pull him in this is the only card you pull, like you do like a YOLO multi, whatever, and you get this card, you're allowed to cry. It is totally acceptable for you to cry. Alright, so moving on from this piece of trash, I thought it was worth bringing up Beerus. He's been around for a long time. He's had a Dokkan for a long time, but the fact that he gets a high chance of attack plus 200%, his link skills are a little bit lackluster, a little bit disappointing, but high chance of attack plus 200%, that's pretty wild, dude. That's not something you really see that often. So he can hit like a truck in mono super strength, mono strength. He's a really good card. So pulling this card and getting him Dokkan definitely should be high on your agenda, so to speak, because the Beerus event is not that difficult, especially these days. Used to be difficult, not anymore. So really good card. Not really much else to say here. The only cards that are still left to talk about are the 2 Whis cards. These cards got Dokkan Awakenings fairly recently, but not really much changes for these cards. The Tech Whis is still one of the best stunners in the game. The Intelligence Whis is one of the most disappointing cards in the game. All allies attack and defense plus 12%, like, that's so bad. And they have bad links too, so that's really all there is to say about it. Like, these cards are definitely some of the lower end cards you could possibly get. Like, everything else has some kind of application. Strength Beerus hits hard. Intelligence Piccolo will make you cry every time you see it. Hit is basically Strength Gogeta that stuns. Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla is amazing, and Kale is okay. So the Whis cards are really the only weak points. So I mean, in review for new players, this is definitely a banner you want to pull on. Newer players will find that characters like Kale and Caulifla will pull their weight. Caulifla especially as a leader. This is, as I said, this is the jackpot card. So the chances of you pulling this card are pretty good. This is a featured GSSR banner. You have a really, really good chance to pull this card out of what, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, yeah, 7 other cards on this banner. So you have really good odds to pull this card. She'll pull her weight. She's gonna be probably in your teams for a long time. So I strongly suggest, like, most of the cards in this banner are, compared to a lot of other cards, kind of not. I mean, I hate to say lackluster for the millionth time, but that's really the best word I can think of. I could possibly think of for a lot of these cards. But Caulifla being the jackpot card here, you're gonna use her a lot. You're gonna see her used a lot in your teams, especially when you get into like the mid and the late game when agility cards get stronger. So as a leader, Caulifla is amazing. Definitely worth trying to pull for if you're new. Mid-game players might want to consider saving their Dragon Stones, because if you're in the mid-game, you're starting to run low on Dragon Stones. You only get so many free Dragon Stones in this game, so you need to consider saving your Dragon Stones for bigger banners, the more stacked banners, like the Intelligence Gogeta banner, assuming we don't get rooked and we don't lose the Tech Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but from it. But mid-game players will definitely probably want to at least consider pulling on this banner, just simply for Caulifla, honestly, because she's just that good. She's just that good of a card, and your chances of pulling her are really, really good. Endgame players might want to consider saving their stones. We have Intelligence Kid Buu coming soon, which is not really a banner you're probably going to want to pull on, but the next big banner is Intelligence Gogeta. That's probably going to be here in like a month and a half, 2 months or so. So pull on this banner at your own risk. You can definitely do better, for sure. So newbies, definitely consider it. I mean, I would 100% say at least do one multi on this. Mid game players and end game players will probably want to reconsider pulling on this banner. Because the fact that the best card on here is Kale and Caulifla, and the rest of them are just not that great, is definitely something that should deter you from using Dragon Stones on this banner. So anyway, that is everything I wanted to say about this. It dropped last night, just before I went to bed. I wanted to do it last night, but I couldn't. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Check me out on Minds, Twitter, and Twitch. Of course, we'll add those links to the bottom. Give us a follow if you like ChunkyBeef. If you like me, ChunkyBeef. And I will see you guys at the next banner, or the next review, whatever happens to be next. Probably another banner, because that's just how bad Namco is. Take it easy.